So, who wants to talk about NaNoWriMo? Starting this off with a quick apology. I usually post videos on Fridays. This one is being posted on Saturday because on Friday I decided to go dance in the rain and my phone was in my back pocket and phones don't like rain. So it had to stay in rice overnight. So that was sad. But it was good actually because it gave me a chance to watch a bunch of other people's videos. Meredith E. Phillips, who's one of my favorite YouTubers on AuthorTube. Maybe that goes the other way, I don't know. She posted a video about the whole NaNoWriMo AI controversy on her channel. It's very, very good. You should check it out. I'm also gonna link below Daniel Green's video, Alyssa in the Books video, and a video from StoryGrid that kind of gets into the, getting to generative AI. And everybody's talking a lot about AI that is in something like a word processor versus using generative AI to write a book. And I think that those conversations are being covered really well in those videos, in those spaces. So just to be super clear in my position here, I do not support using generative AI in the arts. I'm gonna kind of just table the AI talk there. One other point that I haven't heard a lot about from the ethical thing that I also wanted to mention was the environmental impact. Since generative AI has come out and all of these companies are racing to do their models and blah, 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 I'll try to link some articles. It is a huge environmental impact, huge consumption of fossil fuels to do AI because the models are so big. And then with millions, billions of people running these multiple times a day, every day, it's a really big environmental impact, which I also do not love. Now, obviously, the technology comes out, I play around with it sometimes. I sometimes use it for research, especially for work things. It can be helpful. I know a lot of people use it as a tool, but I do think that in the arts, it is extremely, extremely problematic. Not that it's not problematic in those other areas, it is, but it is extremely problematic in anything that's creative. So that is my opinion. That being said, I do not feel like I can participate and support the NaNoWriMo organization, which is too bad. And I am frankly quite sad about it because I was thinking of all the fun NaNoWriMo-esque content I would be posting this year, and I was excited about it. So I will be honest, this is not the biggest, the organization was never a big part of it for me. I think I stopped even using their word tracker. I've never done the forums. I've never been to events. I mean, that's sad, but it is true. I've just never gotten into it. But what I will miss a lot is the YouTube and social media community around NaNoWriMo. I love to watch nano vlogs, and I love the Preptember and Preptober content and all of that stuff. And so for the rest of this video, I just kind of want to chat about what now. I'm sorry, there's wind and the windows are just going over there. I want to talk about what now. What do we do now to keep up the spirit of creativity and camaraderie in the writing community, to set ourselves wonderful writing challenges, and to have a special time that isn't problematic. Because I think if this AI statement had come out and there hadn't been a whole year's worth of drama and controversy behind it, it might not be such a big deal. But I think a lot of people are like, okay, this is a lot of things that I don't want to stand behind. So the first thing I want to talk about, which was also mentioned in Meredith's video, is this group called Rogue Writers. And I actually joined their Discord yesterday. You do have to apply. And they are a group that started as a NaNoWriMo region. And last year, I think in November, December, when all the crazy stuff was happening, they spun off to do their own thing. So they have their own website and they have their Discord server. I think it's fairly, I don't even know. I think it's fairly small. I think there's like 500, 600-ish people in it, which is like a big community, but in terms of NaNoWriMo, it's like smaller, but probably possibly more manageable. I read through, like before I went onto their Discord, I really like took time to read through their rules, their mission and values. And I really think that there is a lot of great stuff here that I really agree with. I mean, they're focusing on amplifying voices of underrepresented writers. One of their values is wealth inequality impairs many writers' ability to grow and thrive, and that's not okay. Communities flourish when they prioritize accessibility, mental health, and well-being. Identity is complex and multifaceted, and this is a vibrant learning community. And if you go into their rules, which I think are great, and they're like strong stances, they also, do not allow any writing or artwork that was assembled using generative AI. That is one of their number one rules, because professionals, including some group members, have had their work appropriated by artificial intelligence. Obviously, we've talked about that. They also say that it can be difficult to spot, and if a moderator says something, maybe AI, it's not a big deal, just remove it. You're not in trouble, just remove it. And I really loved the whole tone of all of the rules, the mission, the values, the website, the fact that you had to introduce yourself in this kind of pre-channel on the Discord before you're let into the rest of the community. So they're screening people to kind of make sure you're legit, to try to protect some of their members' privacy, all that kind of stuff. I just think that there's a lot of really good, having been on the Discord for 8 hours, I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff. And they have something called RAWR, which is an October challenge. And I believe the idea is to work, I haven't quite figured out exactly what the challenge is, but the idea is that you're working on a novel in October. So they do Preptember and RAWR, which stands for, what does it stand for? RAWR. Rocking Awesome Writer Challenge? I don't know. Let me see. Rogue's Amazing Word Rush. That's what it stands for. Also, it's just the word RAWR, like a lion. I saw a lion recently. Check it out. Rogue's Amazing Word Rush. And so I'm going to stick around, see what that's like, see if it's something that I might want to participate in. If you know of other communities, other great groups, I'm sure there are tons. This one just kind of stuck out in my mind and was one that I looked into first. I would love to hear about it. Please share the resources and things that you're thinking about in the comments. I'm also thinking of, what kind of content to do through the fall. I don't think I'm going to be doing much. I'm not planning on doing NaNoWriMo themed content, which is honestly something of a shame, because it was also very helpful in helping me find new writing channels to vibe with and helping others find me. It's a great search word, but we're gonna find a new one, and we're going to continue really enjoying our writing this fall, I think. So whether you are doing the official NaNoWriMo challenge, whether you're doing a RAWR, whether you're doing something else that's really cool, I hope that we're all still going to be able to share resources and writing tips and vlogs and all that stuff in our wonderful AuthorTube writing community. So that was the general stuff. And now I want to talk a little bit about a writing update. For me, we're transitioning from everybody and we're going to me. There we go. Hi, I'm Nicole Wilbur, if you don't know me. I'm a writer, and let's just do a writing update. So at the moment, I am doing editing for the millionth time of my YA heist story that I queried a little bit last winter, got a pretty positive response on, but ultimately, I got requests. Those requests were rejected. And so I took a step back, hired an editor, got another few eyes on it, and I'm finishing off edits. I might do one more round of edits before I query. I keep editing this book. It's insane how much I'm editing this book, but I think it's getting better and better and better. I hope. Anyway, so that's what I'm in the middle of now. I'm just about at the midpoint of this round of edits, and I'm hoping in the next week, it's gonna be a full speed ahead editing situation. Once I have finished editing this book and I'm into querying, which I'm hoping will be done, it's already September. Damn. I'm hoping we'll be done by October. I was hoping it would be done by September, but oh my God, it's September 7th. Okay, so never mind that goal. Let's say October. Hopefully I'll be querying in October. Again, my next round. And I will have the space to work on other things, which is why I was very excited about NaNoWriMo, because the timing was good, but we're still going to do all of the writing and all of the fun, and it's going to be great. So what I've been thinking of is what to work on. And I think this is something of a conundrum, particularly when you're at a stage where you have a manuscript that has potential. Like, I know the odds of getting an agent are very low. But it does have, my book does have potential. It has a shot. It's been received very well by agents that I have, reached out to for critique, the ones that I've queried. And so there's promise to it. Now, that creates an interesting situation because say this book was picked up. And it was bought by a publisher. There's a few ways this could go. It could be picked up in a 1-book deal. It could be picked up in a 2-book deal where I get a duology or a trilogy or something, which is probably bananas, but would make my heart very happy because I think it needs a duo, but it doesn't need a duo. I would like to do a duo, let's just say that. But that's very rare for debuts to be able to get a series. Or there's a 2-book deal or something where it's not an exact sequel, but it's something like in the same vein, range, etc. I will say though, reading Publishers Marketplace, YA trilogies series are coming back. People are getting deals for these, which is amazing. Love that. There have been a bunch of YA fantasy duologies, Twin Crowns, Twin Thrones, Nightbirds, Firebirds. There's a couple more on my mind. So that's like very promising and exciting, but I don't know if that's trickled into other parts of YA. The Inheritance Games was a trilogy. The Thieves Gambit is theoretically going to be a duo, I think. I'm not sure. So it's trickling in. I don't know if it would trickle to me. Who knows, but we'll see. But the other option is that you get something that's like a very similar book. A very similar book option. So I'm thinking of the Love and Gelato books, which by Jenna Evans Welch, which I love. She had Love and Gelato, Love and Luck. I love Love and Luck, and Love and Olives. And those are all the same kind of books. They're like really sweet, travel-centered romances where the main character is off in Italy, Ireland, Greece, and just like falling in love and having a wonderful time. Those are not direct sequels. They are linked, but they're similar. And so there's a lot of that, like books being similar in the same genre, enjoyed by the same people, but not exact sequels. So if that was the case, I have a book idea for a book that would be in a similar genre, still like heist, action, adventure, sort of. Would it be heist? I think I could go either way on it. Heist, action, adventure, I don't know. It's like very bare bones at the moment. I just have some concepts in my mind, a lot of which are inspired by Gorillas and the Diplomat TV show, which is so random, but yeah. So that is one thing. So from that, I could work on the sequel to this book that I'm querying, which I will not be doing. I could work on the other, like this is similar but not the same, but still really cool book that's in a similar genre, action, adventure, heisty, crazy. Then there's the situation that the book isn't picked up at all, which is more likely, I guess. And one of the things I'm concerned about from a genre perspective is that my genre of like YA action adventure is not that popular. Like, there are some books around it. There have been more in recent years, but I actually just on Publishers Marketplace the other week, I saw another action adventure type one and I was like, yes. But there's been something of a lull in them in 2024. So I'm like, ooh. Like, was it maybe a trend and then it failed and then it died? Or maybe it's still a possible thing. I don't know. We'll see. I've been working on this book for a really long time. So I don't know. So then where do you go from there? So the book that I drafted earlier this year, which I have a bunch of videos about, is called The Nutcracker Effect, and it is a YA multi-POV Christmas romance, which is so much fun. I love it. I think there's probably a decent market for that, just given that there's so much adult Christmas romance that we're gonna start seeing popping off pretty soon as we get into October, November and being released. That was a big genre. I think it's still big. I don't think that I think it was really like only big the last 2 years. So I don't think we are in danger of like the trend going away, and things trickle down into YA. So I'm like, oh, maybe like I love Christmas. I wrote the book. I love the book. So I could work on that. I could take it from the first draft to the second draft and do a whole bunch of work on it, which was my original plan. However, there's also the fact that that book is set in a performing arts school, which I love, and I love it. However, I've noticed that there is a market for these performing arts books, but they don't tend to do super well. Like, they are not your #1 bestsellers. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because there's not that many theater kids, or I actually think I don't think it's that. I think it's just because it's hard to pull off high stakes in a school play. That's literally what I think it is. That where if the musical, the play, the whatever it is like the center conflict, there's a limited amount you can do, and it's hard to like really raise the stakes of that. It's usually paired with like romance and that kind of thing. But getting the stakes to be super high in that kind of a setting, I think is a challenge. A challenge that I hope that I've fixed, but who knows? Like it was a challenge that I had and spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I raise the stakes here, how I make this matter, etc. So that could be a reason. One thing I could do is I could edit the book and I could change it to ballet. I don't know why, like it's the Nutcracker, so it could just be a ballet school where they're not doing performing arts, they're just doing ballet. And that would be good. That would be maybe there'd be more of a market for ballet. I don't know I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm like, the Black Swan was a thing, the ballerinas were a thing. Ballet, for some reason, seems to have higher stakes and attract a wider audience than musical theater. I don't really get it, but that's just kind of the sense I'm getting. So I could always, this is the sense I'm getting, but it's also, I had an agent say, I've never had luck with books set in a music setting, with YA books set in a music setting. Haven't been able to sell these, so sounds great, but don't want music. And I am trying not to let that go to my head. That was one agent saying that. But it is true that I don't know of a ton of music setting books, and I don't know of a ton of wildly popular musical theater theater kid YA books also. So I could change it and go to ballet. I could keep it the same. Or I could write something completely different that is a little more mainstreamy, maybe that mainstream? Yeah, mainstream that's also, but like not chasing trends in any way. It would be like a travel romance, a YA travel romance. I don't have tons of ideas for it at the moment, but I'm like, I could try to write a straightforward romance again, like I tried to do last time and ended up with 6 POVs instead of a nice one single person, but we could try. So those are my kind of options that I have been thinking through, and it's really hard, and it's probably futile, honestly, to try to strategize about these things, because who knows, right? Like, if this book never gets picked up, dies, whatever, my YA heist, then having another YA heist would be annoying, versus having a Christmas romance would be so happy, because then we could sell the Christmas romance. Woo, it's different, yay! Depending on whether or not we like theater kids, because the jury seems to be a little bit out on whether or not those are okay. I also think that the stuff about trends is kind of ridiculous, and probably not worth worrying about, yet I do. So there's that. Or I could throw this theater kid thing out there and they'd be like, yay, but that one's already written also. So maybe I should write the other one, the action adventure one, because that one's not written. So if this gets picked up, then I do that, and then that makes a lot of sense. Or I do something not completely different, but quite different over here with this one idea that I have that is very, very early stages and needs a lot of work. So I am not sure. I think that this idea over here, no, I do like it a lot. I do like it. Is it the book that will sell? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I would have to think through it a little bit more. And maybe what I need to do is I need to develop those two ideas and then also develop the edits that I want to do on Nutcracker and just see what I'm most excited about and write that, which would be the sane person's way of deciding their next project. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about for fall, is like, once I finish these edits, what is next? It's also gonna be Christmas season, so it feels like I should just write the Nutcracker one because it's gonna be timely. And things always take me longer than I think they will. But then, say I get an agent, they're like, what else do you have? And I'm like, here, take my Christmas romance. They're like, but you wrote a YA action adventure story. Where's the next one? So I feel like I maybe wanna have a draft of that ready, but we're gonna stop talking now because this is just going over and over the conversation that I've been having myself for a really long time. But I'm very interested in hearing how you think about your next book idea. And if it is, do you try to think of strategy at all? Are you thinking of just what you're most excited about, or what seems like logical and next? The other thing that I have going on, of course, is I just did a week and a half of the Edinburgh Fringe in August, and I love the Edinburgh Fringe, and it's just like theater, musicals, plays, comedy, and all that stuff. And of course, I always leave the Fringe being like, hello, where are your plays? Like, I have written a lot of plays, and I want to write more plays. And I'm like, hey, where's the play? I want to write the next play. So maybe it's a play that's next. I don't know. Maybe this fall is a 10-minute play a week or something. Maybe I can do, if you can think of any iterations for October or November that have to do with playwriting, theater, November, play, I don't know. If you can come up with a fun word for it, maybe I'll do it. Like, that would be fun to have 4 10-minute, one act, obviously because it's 10 minutes, plays written in 1 month. Like, that would be a fun challenge that I could do if I don't want to start a full new book, or I want to edit something and work on the Nutcracker, etc. I'm just not good at working at multiple projects at the same time. In fact, I am extremely, extremely bad at it, and I cannot do it. So these are my dilemmas, and I would love to hear what yours are. What ideas are you tinkering around with? How do you decide which one you're going to write next? What are you thinking for your writing plans this fall? Whether or not they've been infected at all by what's going on with NaNoWriMo, I would love to hear about it. Please, please, please. I love it when people talk in the comments. It's my favorite thing when we get to have conversations together. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. It really helps other people find our community and find each other and get to do all the writing things. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.